The sound was calm at first, just the soft hum of engines slicing through blue skies. Then, without warning, it cracked into chaos. A violent shudder rattled the cabin, oxygen masks dropped, and the captain's voice broke, trembling. "Ladies and gentlemen, please, remain calm." But no one remained calm. Screams rose like waves. The plane pitched hard left. Drinks spilled, prayers whispered, and in the middle of it all, an older woman, in a faded cardigan and sensible shoes, rose slowly from her seat. What happened next silenced even the pilots. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, from which country are you watching this story? And if you love powerful true stories, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss one. Her name was Margaret, 63 years old. To most, she looked like someone's grandmother, traveling alone with nothing but a scuffed leather handbag and a paperback novel tucked inside. The kind of passenger who blended into the background, polite nod, quiet smile, nothing remarkable. A young man in the next row had smirked earlier when she asked for help lifting her carry-on. "Don't worry, ma'am, you just sit tight. Leave the heavy lifting to us." His words carried that soft edge of dismissal. What no one knew, what no one even guessed, was the truth hidden behind her calm gray eyes. The left engine had flamed out. The aircraft lurched violently, alarms shrieking through the cockpit. Passengers clutched their armrests, panic spreading like fire. From the cockpit door, one of the crew rushed out, pale, sweat streaking his forehead. "We need help! Medical, mechanical, anything!" he barked. His eyes swept the cabin, landing briefly on Margaret, then sliding past without a second thought. "Somebody do something!" another passenger shouted. The young man beside her muttered, "Like she's gonna know what to do," pointing subtly at Margaret as if proving his earlier judgment. But Margaret did move. Steady, unshaken, she stepped into the aisle, her voice firm. "Take me to the cockpit." The crew hesitated. A ripple of disbelief spread. Who was she to command in such a moment? The first officer looked up as Margaret entered the cramped cockpit. His face drained of color, not from fear, but from recognition. His eyes locked on the small silver pin still fastened to her cardigan, wings etched with the unmistakable crest of the Royal Air Force. "Ma'am?" His voice softened. "Are you—" Margaret simply nodded. The captain, gripping the yoke with white knuckles, whispered, "Good God." "Squadron Leader Hale?" The cockpit froze. The name carried weight, legendary weight. Even the pilots, men half her age, leaned back in stunned silence. Margaret Hale had once been the RAF's only female test pilot during the Cold War. She'd flown experimental jets that most men wouldn't dare climb into. She had guided crippled aircraft home with fire streaking from their wings, saving crews who should have been lost. But war and glory don't last forever. She'd buried her husband, outlived her comrades, and quietly retired. Now she lived modestly, teaching neighborhood kids math, traveling occasionally when she could afford it. No medals pinned to her chest. No grand speeches, just a quiet life until the sky called on her again. The captain stammered, "What do we do?" Margaret slid into the jump seat, her hands steady, her voice commanding. First, silence the alarms. Then listen carefully. Passengers felt the shift almost instantly. The violent jerks steadied, the screaming softened, and calm authority filled the cabin. From the back, the young man who had dismissed her earlier now whispered to no one in particular. "She's flying this thing?" His arrogance melted into awe. Margaret guided the pilot step by step, her words precise, clipped, like poetry written in discipline. "Feather the left. Reduce thrust on the right. Trim, trim, good. You've got her." When the wheels finally kissed the runway, passengers erupted into applause, tears streaming down faces that minutes ago had been white with terror. The captain stood before everyone, voice breaking as he announced, "This woman saved your lives." Squadron Leader Margaret Hale. Even those who had mocked her bowed their heads. Margaret didn't smile. She simply adjusted her cardigan, picked up her worn handbag, and walked quietly off the plane. Because true heroes don't need the spotlight, they just need the chance to do what's right. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs reminding. Never judge a person by appearances alone. Heroes don't always wear uniforms, and courage has no age limit. Subscribe to our community where we honor the hidden heroes among us, because every person carries a story worth knowing.